Hello and welcome back to another video. Now, as the football season has pretty much ended, and what better thing to do than talk about football shirts during that time. So essentially what we're looking at today is the best shirts of every Premier League club in the 23-24 season. So yes, I'm sorry Leicester, Leeds and Southampton fans, hold that, but I will run through some honourable mentions at the end, which are my favourite shirts from those three teams. We're going to do it in order of the table. So this isn't ranked from which shirt I think is the best to which I think is the worst. It's just ranked in the order that the table finished at the end of the season. So we're going to start from the top, and for Manchester City I've gone with the 98-99 away shirt. Now this shirt is a thing of beauty. I'm just going to say it. Manchester City are no stranger to bangers. They've had a lot of very, very good shirts throughout their time just existing, I guess. And it was a very tough call which to choose for this list. But I ended up settling with this banger from Kappa. This was back when Man City were a Division 2 team as well, so I'm sure they would rather forget that era against the success they've had very recently, well not recently, but since the success they've had in the Premier League. But the 1999 season was very mixed for City. On one hand, it was their first time in the third tier. On the other, they got promoted through the playoffs. So all in all, probably a very decent season to be a City fan. The shirt is quite a garish yellow, to be honest, with navy stripes and some of that City blue stripes alongside those big navy ones. And as well some light blue accents on the collar and the cuffs to tie it all together. It also features that beautiful Manchester City badge which they held until 2016. And it works well with the colour scheme of the shirt as well. It is a shame that City have never done a modern recreation of this one, but they might not want to remember being in the third division, which, you know, you've got your history, be proud of it. And then move on to Arsenal, who of course finished second in the league, and I've gone with the 96-98 home shirt. Now Arsenal are no strangers to having a brilliant shirt, and this is one of those. This was the shirt that saw Arsenal win the double, winning both the FA Cup and becoming Premier League champions, a feat which Manchester City have also just done. And in 1996, it was also the first season in which Arsene Wenger took charge of the Gunners, and obviously his record speaks for himself. The shirt itself is a classic and finds itself firmly sandwiched in an era of Arsenal bangers. The shirt features a subtle Gunners design on the main body of the shirt and that classic Arsenal badge, which is just beautiful. The collar tops off this lovely kit. It's a classic banger from Nike and just another amazing Arsenal shirt, and that JVC sponsor too is very iconic and works very well with the shirt. You know, it's just plain white, fits in with the theme and the colours of the shirt. So yeah, brilliant from Nike once again. And then in third place we've got Manchester United and their 93-94 away shirt. Now Manchester United are also a side that are no strangers to having brilliant shirts, and this black number has to be my favourite of the lot. The 93-94 season was a brilliant one for United. They were under the management of the legendary Alex Ferguson, and they became only the fourth team in the 20th century to complete the domestic double, winning the Premier League and the FA Cup. The shirt itself is a brilliant black number with some blue and yellow accents on the collar, and found on the cuffs as well. It's a brilliant shirt from Umbro, who were churning out bangers throughout this time, and this one is just further evidence of that. The shirt also features subtle stripes with the Umbro logo throughout, as well as some Umbro logos on the blue cuffs, which I absolutely love. That's one of my favourite design features of an Umbro shirt. If they get those little Umbro designs on the collars, they don't have on this shirt, but yeah, they were just phenomenal. All in all, this is a lovely shirt. My favourite United shirt ever. They've also got the badge in a shield, which is something I really do enjoy. And yeah, it's just amazing. I think if we got a modern recreation of this, it could bang. Obviously, it won't be with Umbro, but it's a class shirt. And then move on to fourth place and Newcastle United. Now I've gone with their 93-95 home shirt. The Geordies are no strangers to having brilliant shirts, and this home kit is no different. It was the kit that the so-called entertainers sported under Kevin Keegan, and while it may not have been a particularly notable season for Newcastle, they didn't finish with any silverware, it did see them finish third in the Premier League in that 93-94 season. It's the classic Newcastle strip of a white shirt with black stripes, designed by Asics this time, and it's a collared shirt too, which just adds a few more marks onto it. You know, I love when a shirt has a collar. But the shirt also features small amounts of blue in the shirt as well. This ties in with the blue of that Newcastle Brown Ale star logo, as well as the blue featured on the Newcastle crest. All in all, I think it's a very, very clean shirt. For some reason, I just really love when a Newcastle shirt has a bit of blue on it. Like, blue, my favourite colour, that's probably why, but I see a little bit of blue on that Newcastle shirt and that just shoots up in my rankings. And that Newcastle Brown Ale sponsor is just phenomenal. Just having the star with the silhouette of Newcastle on it, it's amazing. Yeah, banger from Newcastle. And then we move on to 5th place, and it is Liverpool. And I've gone with the 93-95 away. Name a more iconic combination than Liverpool and Carlsberg. The 93-94 season was quite uneventful for Liverpool, as it saw them finish 8th in the Premier League, which, well, they did a bit better this season, but they almost didn't. But the following season was markedly better as they won the League Cup and finished 4th in the Premier League. That was also a record 5th League Cup win from Liverpool, which is just crazy. They were a really dominant side back in the day, and they've sort of re-established that dominance somewhat this season as well. Or recently, should I say, not really this season. But to be fair, there were a couple contenders for Liverpool's best shirt ever. I mean, these kits are lovely as well. But this away shirt took the biscuit. The colours of white and green are iconic colours for Liverpool, and using them together created this beauty. And I do think it's a colour scheme that Liverpool should explore and should use more. I mean, they had that green kit this season, or last season I guess, and that was beautiful. So yeah, I'd love to see more white and green on Liverpool kits. It's also an iconic Adidas template with a brilliant collar to top it all off. But yeah, this Adidas template with the centralized manufacturer badge and then the 3 stripes on either side is just an amazing template. I'm honestly sad that Forest didn't get a shirt of that template, but we weren't with Adidas at this time, so fair enough. But yeah, lovely template, wonderful design from Adidas, and just a brilliant Liverpool shirt. And I like that the Carlsberg is also the same green as the green aspects on the shirt, which is just a very nice touch, and more teams should try and implement that with their sponsors, because it just makes the shirt design a lot more cohesive and a lot nicer. But hey, what do I know? I'm just a guy who makes YouTube videos. I don't get paid to design shirts for a living, though I would love that. And then move on to 6th place, and Brighton and Hove Albion, and I've picked this 99-2002 away shirt. Now, Brighton have a very extensive kit history, and this was the first time we saw them use this type of colour scheme. This shirt did see some very important moments for Brighton, as they saw 2 successive promotions going from Division 3 to Division 2 and then into the First Division. It was a very impressive run from Brighton, and this kit saw it all, and it is a banger from Area. Or Eri, I don't know how you pronounce it. I'm a very big fan of when teams invert their colours for a kit, and this away shirt is a perfect example of that. I'm sure you know that Brighton classically play in blue and white. Swapping over to red and black is something that really just tickles my brain for some reason. It's something I just can't get enough of. If I see something that's blue that is switched to red, I'm all about it. The use of a monochromatic badge works really well within the shirt as well, and the Area logo, they're positioned so nicely within those stripes. And then the sponsor creates a very cohesive shirt for the Ski Ghouls, and one I would love to see a modern recreation of. Just Nike, get on it right now. But yeah, brilliant shirt from Area. Not really a fan of how the lines break for the sponsor, because the sponsor is quite small, so I feel like you could have the lines going down a bit further. But hey, it's a minor nitpick. Maybe they didn't know who would be sponsoring it at the time. It happens. Other than that, brilliant shirt. Got a lovely collar as well. Chef's kiss from Brighton. And then move on to 7th place, and Aston Villa. So I've gone with the 95-97 home shirt. Aston Villa haven't had many bangers in my opinion, but it's a very nice shirt. The 95-96 season was quite uneventful for Aston Villa. However, it did see them win the League Cup and a 4th place finish in the Premier League, which that's pretty good to be fair. The 96-97 season was also uneventful with no silverware, and they slid down to a 5th placed Premier League finish, which, you know, that's not too shabby. But this shirt is in the classic Villa cloud and blue colours with some little yellow accents thrown in, and I think it's lovely. The yellow accents on the neckline, in the badge and on the manufacturer logo just work really well together, and yeah, it's just nice to have a little third colour thrown in there for like little accents, you know what I'm saying? The main body of the shirt features a Villa lion design throughout the shirt, which is paired with some subtle stripes, and it looks really nice. I think that is overall the design feature which won me over. I love seeing those little like sublimated lions throughout the shirt's body. Yeah, I'm a sucker for anything like that in the shirt design. Umbro did it a lot as well. A lot of manufacturers did it, to be fair, where they just have their logo like throughout the shirt. Yeah, it just looks lovely. I'm a fan of when teams implement their club logo throughout the shirt design, and especially on their kits, and this one is done really, really well. So it's a very good shirt from Reebok. You know, you don't really hear about them nowadays, but this is a banger from Reebok for sure. And a few of other shirts on this list do have that club logo design in their shirt design, so there's a bit of a theme there. And then we get to 8th place, and Tottenham Hotspur. So for Tottenham, I've gone with the 77-80 home shirt. Now, I wouldn't say Tottenham are known for having bangers, but they do have a couple brilliant shirts in their locker. In 1977-78, Spurs saw themselves promoted to the top flight after finishing third in the second division. That was really the only thing of note for Spurs while wearing this shirt, as they finished mid-table in the first division, and I think that sums up Tottenham perfectly. So I did have to go quite a ways back for this Spurs shirt, but it is a thing of beauty. There were a lot of other contenders, a lot more modern contenders from Tottenham. Well, modern compared to this shirt, but Admiral smashed it out of the park with this one. Now, to be fair, it is quite a plain shirt all in all, but the Admiral branding throughout the sleeves and on the neckline looks lovely. I'm a big fan of that. And the collar as well is brilliant. Admiral have had a lot of bangers in their time, to be fair, and this Tottenham shirt is one of them. I think it's a very nice Tottenham shirt, and yeah, very nice for Admiral. And then we move to 9th placed Brentford, and I've gone with their 86-88 away shirt. Now, I'm going to probably offend a few Brentford fans here, but I don't think they've had that many bangers. 86-87 was pretty uneventful for Brentford, as it saw them finish 11th in Division 3, but they did make it to the quarterfinals of the Football League trophy, which is nothing to scoff about. The 87-88 season was no better for them, as it saw them finish 12th in Division 3. All in all, a pretty uneventful time in this kit for the Bees, and one I'm sure they'd probably rather forget, you know, knowing how well they're doing now in the Premier League. But yeah, it's another striped number for Brentford, and this one was created by Spall, a brand I had not heard of until I did this video. It features the classic Brentford badge, which I'm quite a fan of, and I enjoyed the implementation of that in this season's away shirt, or the third shirt, I can't remember which one it was, but I really enjoyed seeing that. Now while I am a fan of that badge, they kept the red stripes, which does distract slightly from the shirt, but it's not major enough for me to say it's awful. The light blue striped design is quite nice with a mix of shiny and matte colours, creating a very interesting design and a pretty interesting looking shirt. Now, I was quite hard pressed to find a Brentford shirt I actually liked. Sorry, Brentford fans, but I think this one's okay. It's enough for me to say it's their best shirt. I just wasn't a fan of any of their shirts, to be honest. I do apologise, Brentford. And then move on to 10th place and Fulham, and I've chosen their 96-97 home shirt. Now, there were a few shirts I could have picked for Fulham. I mean, their iconic Pizza Hut sponsorship comes to mind, but instead I chose this Lecoq Sportif number. The 96-97 season was a good one for Fulham, as it saw them promoted from Division 3 after finishing second in the league, and to make even sweeter, it was their first promotion in 15 years, and this shirt was the one that saw it all. I'm a particularly big fan of the checkerboard design, which can be seen on the collar and the cuffs of the sleeves. I think Leicester did something similar this season, which was a shirt I actually quite liked from them. We've also never seen this checkerboard design on any other Fulham shirts since, which is a shame because, as I mentioned, it's the design element I quite like. The red sponsor also works quite well with the Lecoq Sportif number and the bit of red on the neckline as well. Now, while I'm not a huge fan of the crest, it doesn't distract from the shirt in any way, and it's a classic Fulham crest, so I can't really get mad at that. There's also a little sublimated diamond design on the shirt, which just adds a little extra cherry on top of an already brilliant shirt for Fulham. Yeah, it's lovely. I'm a big fan of that checkerboard, and that's what pushed it over the edge against maybe, say, their iconic Pizza Hut shirt. But yeah, this is lovely from Fulham. Congratulations. And then we move on to 11th place and Crystal Palace. So for Palace, I chose the 93-94 home shirt. And sorry, Palace fans, but I don't think you've had many brilliant shirts in my opinion. But this is one of those rare few which I think is quite nice. The 93-94 season was a good one for Palace, as it saw them promoted from the first division straight back up to the Premier League. Nothing else of note really happened in that season, but towards the end of the season they did change their badge, which is notable, I guess. Now, this shirt is from Ribeiro, I don't know, which mostly features red but does have those two blue stripes and a small blue line on the collar. This shirt features a sublimated zigzag design throughout, which drew me into the kit as well. The collar is also a very nice design element with that thin blue line, creating a very cohesive shirt design and just ties the whole thing together. The sponsor doesn't really detract from the shirt's design, but I could not tell you what TDK does. Obviously it's in white, so it's very out there, very noticeable, but doesn't really detract from the overall design of the shirt, and I think it's a very nice Palace shirt. And then move on to 12th place and Chelsea. So for Chelsea, I've gone with the 97-99 home shirt. Now this is a very iconic Chelsea shirt, and for good reason. The 97-98 season saw Chelsea win both the League Cup and the UEFA Cup Winners' Cup. Very impressive. And then in the 98-99 season, also saw them win the UEFA Super Cup, finishing 3rd and 4th place in the league respectively. While Chelsea did not win a league title in that period, it was still a very successful time for them, and this shirt went through it all. and it is phenomenal. The shirt itself is just wonderful. It holds all the hallmarks of an Umbro classic, with a shiny material and a brilliant collar to top things off. The blue and white colour scheme is something that Chelsea have moved away from in recent times, but combined with the yellow accents, it looks absolutely class and works very well together. I wish we'd see a bit more white on those Chelsea shirts, because it's really just been blue with some like white cuffs or something. But they have been using yellow as well, which I can't complain about because I think it looks really nice. The old Chelsea badge is also something which works in favour of this shirt, with the yellow lion fitting in perfectly. I feel like if this was the modern Chelsea logo, the shirt would look nowhere near as good as it does with that old Chelsea logo. And that collar with just the blue and the yellow, yeah, it's lovely. What a shirt from Chelsea, man. And Autoglass as well. Well, the Autoglass sponsor is quite iconic, I feel, for Chelsea as well. I don't know, it just screams Chelsea to me whenever I see it. And then in 13th place, we've got Wolverhampton Wanderers. And for them, I've gone with their 96-98 home shirt. Now, there are some truly iconic shirts from Wolves, and particularly a very iconic sponsor. But I do feel this shirt is one of those iconic ones. The 96-97 was almost a good one for Wolves fans, but they lost in the playoffs, failing to reach the Premier League. The 97-98 season was also not great, as they slumped to 9th place, but did do better in the FA Cup, getting dumped out in the semi-finals. But yeah, the shirt design is brilliant. The usage of the Wolves logo throughout the main body of the shirt and the orange design elements being in that Wolves shape too is just class. Like that whole like body design is in the shape of the Wolves logo. Like the way the sleeves come across is done perfectly to give that silhouette from their Wolves logo, you know, like the wolf head. It's a shame the Wolves logo doesn't align perfectly with the crest. Like the Wolves logos within the shirt design doesn't perfectly align with the crest, which would have been the cherry on top for an already wonderful kit. But that's just a small nitpick, really. I think it's a brilliant shirt from Puma, and it only just beats out the iconic Doritos ones by just the uniqueness of this design, really. Like I don't think any other club could have a shirt design like this. Like their club logo throughout the design, and then the actual design of the shirt is in the club silhouette as well. I just think it's wonderful for Wolves. Absolutely amazing. And then in 14th place, we've got West Ham United, and I went with their 98-99 home shirt. Another clout and blue side, and another side that has many, many good-looking shirts. The 98-99 season was an exciting one for Hammers fans, as they finished 5th in the league, which secured them a return to European football. Other than that, though, they crashed out of both domestic cups in the second and third rounds, respectively, so it's not all rainbows for West Ham fans, but they had a nice shirt at least. This is a real classic from West Ham, and it was actually their last season using the pony manufacturer. It features an iconic Dr. Martens sponsor, and all in all is a very lovely shirt, although I don't like how the logo curves up. Bit strange. The sparing use of yellow works really well on this shirt and enhances the overall design. The subtle lines throughout the body of the shirt are a nice design touch too, and it's just a nice shirt from the Hammers, really. You can't go wrong. Bit of yellow on there. Phenomenal. And then move on to 15th place and Bournemouth, and I've gone with their 2018-19 shirt. Now this is probably going to be the most modern shirt on this list, but I do think it's Bournemouth's best kit. The 2018-19 season was the Cherries' 4th consecutive season in the Premier League, and it also saw them make the quarterfinals of the FA Cup too. Yeah, that's about all that happened for Bournemouth then. Umbro are no strangers to making a good shirt, and this one is no different. While the entirety of the shirt isn't brilliant, it has enough good design elements to rise above all their other shirts, even the ones from the past. The sponsor is the most damaging part of this shirt, as it just looks dreadful, but little silver lining, it is in line with the home kit colours, which is something at least. But my favourite aspect has to be the cuffs though. I love that tape-like Umbro design, as I've mentioned earlier. Just having the Umbro logos on the shirt in sort of like a little tape design. Very lovely, and it's just won me over for this shirt. The positioning of the badge and the Umbro logo is also perfect, as it's directly on one of the lines, which, yeah, just class. And move on to 16th place and Nottingham Forest, and can you guess what shirt it is? Yes, I've gone with the 2003-2005 third shirt. Now, Forest have had a lot of quality shirts, but I've chosen this Umbro banger. Despite being my favourite shirt though, it did not mean good things for the football club. 03-04, we were up and down the table, eventually salvaged a 14th place finish, but it was in 04-05 when this became the away shirt and disaster struck. We got relegated to League One, unfortunately making them the first former European Cup winners to suffer relegation to the third tier of their domestic league. Yeah, this shirt went through the trenches. It's still my favourite Forest shirt ever, and it's a lovely shirt. And It was one that I always saw throughout my childhood. You know, my dad was always wearing this shirt. I think that just imprinted on me this Forest shirt as one of the best we've ever had. Umbro and Forest share an extensive history, and they've created some of our best shirts in the past. Go watch either of my Forest shirt ranking videos if you want to see how nice Umbro have been to us. This was a unique black and blue number which Forest have not revisited since, and I would love for that to come back. Like, I created this mock-up I think last year of what I would like to see a modern recreation look like. Yeah, it's just a brilliant shirt, and I'd love to see a modern recreation of this. But despite resembling Inter Milan, we did not play like them. But yeah, this is a very iconic shirt for me, and I think one that's overlooked by most Forest fans, but I'm just a huge fan of the blue and black stripes. The Umbro logo and the Forest logo are perfectly positioned to be like as central to the stripes as they can. Obviously the Umbro logo does go off a bit, but it's like positioned in the center anyway, so it looks nice. And then the Capital One sponsor is also iconic for me. My favorite Forest shirt, I love it. What more can I say? It's phenomenal. Then in 17th place we've got Everton, and I've gone with their 95-97 home shirt. Now this is another Umbro banger, and this time for Everton. The 95-96 season was marked by silverware as Everton won the Charity Shield, but that was the only honours that this shirt saw, as Everton didn't win anything else, and also got dumped out of the Cups fairly early on with no notable league finishes either. The design of the shirt though is wonderful, and it's just Umbro making another banger back in the day. Umbro have been one of the most consistent shirt manufacturers in my opinion, going from bangers like these to bangers in the common day, the modern day, I don't know how you want to say, but Umbro have just been consistent throughout. And this Umbro banger features the club's crest within the shirt design, the Latin motto of Nil Satis Nisi Optimum, which means nothing but the best, which is kind of strange for Everton as they almost got relegated 2 seasons in a row, so it's not nothing but the best for Everton fans, really, is it? The Everton text is also seen throughout the design. You know, it's a really out there design, but it works really well on this shirt, though I'm not really a fan of the stripy collar as it just looks odd against the rest of the shirt with the amount of, if it was black and blue it might look a bit better, but the black like neckline adds to the shirt design as well. I think it's lovely. It's a very nice shirt from Everton, and yeah, again, it has that club's emblem in the design of the shirt, which, as I said, is a design feature I go feral for. So yeah, those have been my best shirts of the Premier League of the size that survived relegation. So now we're going to look at the newly promoted teams. These are done in no particular order, but we're just going to start off with Luton Town and their 1990-92 away shirt. In more recent times, orange has been the home colour for the Hatters, but in the 90s that was very much the away strip colour. The 1991 season was not great for Luton as they were almost relegated after finishing 18th in the First Division. The 91-92 season was even worse though, as they actually saw themselves relegated in 20th place. I believe they actually avoided relegation in the 90-91 season because they expanded the Football League to have 22 teams, so I believe they just survived relegation through that, but they could not outrun it for long. And it's also another banger from Umbro, what the fuck? This shirt reminds me of their promotion winning kit from the 22-23 season, but it just has that vintage bit of charm about it. It's another appearance from Umbro, and it was actually Luton's final season with them until very recently. It's a brilliant orange kit with a repeating diamond pattern and even some pinstripes thrown in for good measure. It also has a collar, which is always nice. But yeah, I just love this Luton shirt. I think it's perfect, and I think it goes perfectly with their straw hats. I don't know why, I just see that shirt, I think, yeah, that looks good with the straw hat. It might be the collar, and it might be the stripes. But yeah, it works. That's all I can say, it works. And then we go to Sheffield United and the 81-83 home shirt. Hobart came through this beauty in the early 80s, and I can't believe I hadn't seen it until making this video. The 81-82 season was a good one for the Blades, as it saw them promoted as champions of Division 4 before securing a mid-table finish in the 82-83 season. Now this is a wonderful shirt from an essentially unknown Sheffield-based manufacturer in Hobart. The shirt is beautiful. It's a lot of praise for a team that I have no feelings towards, but the shirt is class. I'm a huge fan of the design elements they've used in this shirt. The centralized crest is flanked by more rows of blades, and they also feature on the sleeves as well. Just absolutely phenomenal. Just looking at this design, you don't see things like this nowadays. Like if Sheffield United got a shirt like this for the Premier League this coming season, I would be all over it because it is an amazing shirt design. The only drawback is the placement of the Hobart logo. It's kind of just out here when it should be below the crest realistically. But yeah, otherwise, brilliant shirt, absolutely phenomenal. There needs to be a modern recreation of this, I think, because it is just a thing of beauty. And finally, Burnley and the 93-95 home shirt. The 93-94 season was a good one for Burnley as it saw them promoted from the 2nd division after finishing 6th. This shirt then also saw them relegated the following season in 22nd place. The Clarets didn't enjoy any cup success either in this shirt, only progressing to the 4th round of the FA Cup in the 94-95 season. This shirt features the iconic Ensley sponsor, or Ensley, I don't know how you pronounce it actually, so I'm just going to say Ensley, which adorned many Burnley shirts throughout the 90s. It's a lovely shirt from Mitre, and their logo can be seen throughout the shirt's design as well, appearing in the main body, the sleeves, the cuffs and the collar. Pretty much all over. The shirt also features the Burnley badge design within the design of the shirt, which I've mentioned, big fan of. And that's combined with the aforementioned Mitre logo. But my favourite part of the shirt has to be the collar. The usage of the Mitre logo to create those triangular designs on the collar is a wonderful touch, and it's far better than just the plain collars we've seen throughout this list. That collar just sold it to me, really. The whole design of the shirt is wonderful. You know, the sponsor in white along with the Mitre logo in white works well together. The old Burnley badge I do quite like as well. And then they've got the Mitre tape on the sleeves, which I'm also a fan of. And then that design on the collar just ties the whole thing together, create a wonderful, wonderful shirt for Burnley. So yeah, those have been my Premier League best ever shirt list, if you want to call it that. Just the shirts I think have been the best for every Premier League club throughout their history. But we are going to touch on those relegated sides. So for Leicester City, I went with the 94-96 home shirt. Very nice shirt. Got that iconic Walker sponsor. Got the Leicester logo in a shield, which does look kind of odd to be fair. But then the colours of the cuffs and the collar. Wonderful. Leeds United, I went with the 98-2000 home shirt. Sponsored by Packard Bell and made by Puma. I think it's a very nice looking Leeds shirt. It's got the blue and yellow cuffs, blue and yellow on the collar, with the Puma logo on top of the sleeves, which I think is quite a nice design to be fair. And finally, Southampton in the 91-93 home shirt. Not really much to say about this. It's made by Admiral. It's quite a basic shirt to be fair, but I wasn't really a fan of any Southampton shirts. I do apologise. Saints fans, yeah, just classic red and white stripes, but the black collar and black cuffs really work well together to create this just a nice looking Southampton shirt. Really, there's nothing much I can say about that because it's just a plain Southampton shirt, but I do think it looks quite nice. If you support any of these clubs mentioned in the video, what is your favourite shirt of those? I'd love to hear, because a lot of teams have a lot of bangers, so I know my list is probably going to be completely different from maybe your list, but for a bit of fun, you know, see what the kit history of these clubs is like, and you know what? They've got a very nice history. So yeah, I've been O2GT. If you have enjoyed this video, please do leave a like on the video, subscribe down below, and I shall see you guys in the next video. Peace.